Folks, today I would like to talk to you about the fact that attachment to the past is the major cause of human suffering. If anyone is interested in eradicating the human suffering, one needs to understand the main cause of human suffering, which is some attachment to the past. Take, for example, attachment to the divine incarnations, past divine incarnations. In India, for example, especially in the North India, people are attached to Rama and Krishna. They have forgotten that love is the uniting factor of all humanity. Love, unconditional love, is what has been taught by all divine incarnations. In spite of that, people have just forgotten the love of whole humanity, whole creation, but they are attached to the so-called divine incarnations like Rama, Krishna. In India, Jesus Christ. In the West, mainly Buddha throughout the world, many corners of the world, and so on. Where are they now? Are there Rama, Krishna, Jesus, Allah, Maitreya, Buddha? Are there anywhere? Just like any other human being, when they died, their body has been integrated with the physical particles like ashes, fire, and so on. They are in the form of energy. Their body is in the form of energy in the world, physical energy. And it is true that not only the avatars, but every human being exist in a medium, in a form which is beyond the physical world that you are aware of. But that is true for everybody. That's my truth. But you'll have to find out. In fact, many of the religions say such things, but nobody gives any importance to such statements. Divine incarnations like Rama and Krishna are there now only in the human mind. They are in energy form in various ways. In the human mind as a mental images, thoughts, language descriptions, forms, figures, and expectations, and so on. None of the avatars, none of the divine incarnations can ever come back. Who will come back is somebody who is new that has come out of this energy, which recognizes the current problem and teach, just like they did in the past, they teach solution to the human suffering. Can anybody recognize the so-called Kalki when that avatar, the so-called 10th avatar of Vishnu appears? Nobody can recognize. Nobody has the eye to see. Take for example, it has been told that he will come on the white horse with a sword in his hand. Do you think anybody will be coming in this era on a white horse having a sword in the hand to come and destroy the evil. It's just symbolic, figurative. But still, people really believe that unless Kalki comes in the white horse with a sword in his hand and destroy people, kill people, nobody will understand, nobody will recognize Kalki. And also, there are different parts of the different areas of the people, different generations think that Kalki will appear in such and such time. There is no agreement between all of them. Even if some Kalki comes, there will be always debate whether this person is Kalki or not, because he's not supposed to be here at this time. Kali Yuga is still for a long time. Same thing is true with second coming of Jesus Christ. It has been told in the Revelation that he will descend from the sky, trumpeted by all the angels, and so on. Everybody will see. It will be so powerful. Do you think that's possible these days? But there are people who really believe that someone can descend from the clouds, trumpeted by all the angels. They're just a vision, but still people believe that such things are possible. Even if Jesus Christ, in some other form, human body, comes and teaches the divine love, unconditional love, do you think the Christians will understand, will accept? No way. That person has to be born in such lineage and so on. As a Jew, otherwise they will not accept. If that person is born as a Jew, the Jews will not accept him because their avatar, their Messiah is different. Nobody is going to really recognize the second coming of Jesus Christ. Everybody has their own opinion. Where is the form of, and some people think that he will descend in the same form that he left, the same human form he left this world when he came first time. Do you think that's possible scientifically? But still people believe it. That's why most of the scientists think that the gods imagined by the human beings don't exist. They say that there is an energy which is unknown, but there are gods and other divine incarnations only in the human mind. They are not real. They are imagination. But still, even in this age of scientific revolution, people will still believe that Jesus Christ body is still alive somewhere, and then he will manifest in the same form, the same lineage, in the same place, and teach unconditional love. Same thing about Maitreya Buddha. Whatever they have been told, whatever somebody wrote long time back, that's what they think will be the birthplace of Maitreya Buddha. And he will teach exactly what these people are expecting to teach. The human beings are expecting to teach. What is the cause of all this? All this because of their attachment to the past events. Whatever somebody at some point told, people keep on repeating. They remember that generation after generation, and they expect that to be true. That will come to be true. This is the attachment to the past. It is because of this attachment there are a lot of divisions in terms of religions. People in the northern India, they are so attached to Ram and Krishna, they don't mind killing the Muslims. They don't mind hating Muslims. They don't mind destroying, driving away Muslims. They don't think, many of them in the North India, they don't think, including the politicians, educated people, they don't think the Muslims living in India, they are human beings, that's just like any other human being. They see them through the eye of the religion, and there is a lot of hatred. Same thing is true from the side of the Muslims. They hate Hindus because they think their God, Allah, again, it's the past stories and whatever has been written in Quran, they memorize. And that is the past, attachment to all those past ideas prevent them in recognizing the Hindus, Christians are just like human beings, are human beings just like themselves. People have forgotten that when they come to this world, every human being comes without any trace of identity. A Christian, they don't even, the child doesn't even know that he is a male or female, whether Indian or European or American, Hindu or Muslim, and so on. And when they leave everything. There will not be any trace, there won't be any identity. They come without any identity. Every human being comes to this world without any identity, and then they leave this world without any identity. But what is causing in between the birth and death? Attachment to the past, attachment to their culture. People are in the south and southern India, including in the North India also. People are so much attached to their language. There has been a big debate going on in southern India now that whether Sanskrit is the oldest language or Tamil is the oldest language. Tamil culture is the oldest and the best, or the Aryan culture as against the Dravidian culture of the south is the oldest. Everybody knows the oldest culture is the Stone Age culture of the human being. The first set of human beings who were wandering in the forest, fighting the beasts, animals, and so on, eating all kinds of things. They talked their language, they had the culture, they talked their language, but that language is not Tamil language or Sanskrit or Arabian language or Hindi or Greek, Latin, English, nothing. Just language is just a form of sound to express some feelings and ideas designed by or developed by or evolved between human beings. That's all. But still, people are attached to their language and fight with the people. They are ready to kill the others, destroy others, just because somebody else is trying to destroy their language. Same thing about culture. Everybody. Why China is claiming the South Sea? Because their past, attachment to the past. the past since such and such events took place, and that's why all these things are ours. Japanese ruled, I was told, the Chinese. So, can Japanese claim that Chinese are our own slaves? They are supposed to be working for us? Will that be acceptable to China? This attachment to the past is because the human mind has or stores information by just the inertia. Just like, for example, if there is a smooth surface, so smooth that there is no trace of anything that rolls on that surface. Suppose you roll something on that surface. Will there be any trace of it? There won't be anything left there. But if there is a rough surface, it will leave some trace. It's exactly the same way the human brain, neuron cells, stores the past. And then people get attached to the past. But whatever is there in the human mind, people know that they have to be left when they leave this world. In order to maintain the continuous of the human birth, Hindus have discovered that there is a rebirth, but absolutely there is no proof that anybody can be reborn. The only way that they identify is because this person has such and such characteristics who lived in the past. But for that to happen, it's enough if the past experience is reborn through some human mind. Not the same person coming back, but the somewhat similar experience some people can bring to this world. And they may appear to be, or they may claim that I am such and such an avatar. Also, people are so much attached to not the truth of human existence, truth of the energy surrounding people, but they are attached to stories of the past. It's very clear and scientifically proven that unless somebody has these five senses and the human mind, they will not be able to recognize that they are this body. They won't be able to recognize or identify themselves as male, female, and so on. For example, suppose instead of this human eye, you are born with microscopic eye. There are two microscopes in the place of the two eyes. Suppose you are born at that way, then what will you see around? Not these figures that you see now, the human forms and so on, just molecules floating here and there. After all those molecules, look at your body, the molecules of your body. Which one molecule is you? And with a normal human eye, you are identifying that your body is you. But without this eye, suppose you have a microscope, which molecule is you? Same way, if you have still more powerful electron microscope and so on, your body will appear as protons, electrons, and fundamental particles. And still, if you go further, more powerful one, it may be just an energy. And every scientist knows and says it's a scientific fact that nobody knows. It's impossible to find or recognize or to know the energy, the thing that appears to all these various instruments, various senses, and the human mind as this world. It's a proven fact. You can never ever recognize that which appears to various forms, various instruments through which you are looking at that. This is what is called Dvaita in Hindu philosophy. That is, you are there and you have an instrument. And these are the two things. Depending upon the instrument through which you see this world around you, there is a different kind of world. But in Advaita, that is not true. That's the meaning of Advaita philosophy. And according to that, can you ever know yourself without that instrument, the second one, the duality? No one can recognize, no one can say anything about themselves. Can you tell, anybody tell me, who are you? Or anything about you that is this world has not told you, that through anything other than what your body, the five senses, and the human mind, it's a sixth sense, told? Nothing, absolutely nothing. That is the indescribable. That is something which Hindu tradition says, that thing which can never be described. And that is what meant by, in the Western world in olden days, as the God of Abraham, from whom all the Jews, Christians, Muslims have descended. It's formless. It cannot be described. How can you describe a formless? Can never be described. But still, by attachment to their past, the way that they worship their gods and so on, and their culture, and the past events like these people have destroyed my people, so I should kill them when I have the upper hand. That is this attachment to the past. You cannot divide people by any means, by the color of the skin, which depends on your human eye. Black people and white people have the same molecules, probably similar molecules. They're all molecules in their body. If you have still more powerful microscope, you will just atoms and electrons and so on, neutrons. Where is the color? Color is meaningful only to the human sense, human eye, and that is stored in the human mind and as the past information, and people are attached to that. Because of this, people are ready to kill each other, destroy each other. The Western world has joined together recently to oppose Chinese, Russians. Are they not human beings? Of course, they have a different system, political system, which may be doing harm to the people. Are they not suffering in the democratic system. In America, so many people have been killed because of the racial tension. Or is it not the human rights issue? It's all because of the past. Because in the past such and such things happened, I will hate this person now and also in future. And my generation, I will teach that you have to hate those people because they did in the past something terrible to my people. That is the past, attachment to the past. And that's because in the human mind, the brain stores due to its inertia. If it is something which if the brain doesn't store, just like a smooth surface doesn't store, really smooth surface doesn't store the fact that something was rolling on itself. If the mind doesn't remember the past, there won't be any discrimination, there won't be any division, there won't be any religion, there won't be any fight for the country, there won't be any fight for the culture, language, color of the skin, nothing. Why shouldn't people recognize this and change? Because they are waiting for their Messiah to come and tell them. Only their Messiah can change them. Nobody else can change them, even if they say the same thing. Only if their Messiah, in the same form that they are expecting, are coming and telling them, they will not change. You are not my Messiah, my divine incarnation. Why should I change? That is the mentality of the human beings at this point. As long as this attachment to the past stays, human suffering will continue, especially at this stage, at this state of the human evolution, with so much power in the hands of people to destroy the humanity. There ought to be events forthcoming which will destroy, cause tremendous suffering among people. I talked about this for quite some time. In terms of the Bible terminology, I told that division in human mind is the mark of the beast. It is the Ashura energy, the ignorance in the human mind, ignorance of dividing people across various dimensions, is the Ashura Shakti, which is dominating now. People, Indians, they think that unless their avatar comes, Kalki comes and destroys this Ashura, they think that Ashuras are everybody except the Hindus. This problem will never end. In between, the climate change also is fast approaching in creating havoc in the world. And I hope people recognize the real reason for human suffering and change. I'll talk to you soon in another video. In between, if you have any question, any disagreement from what I've been saying, let me know. I will respond. Talk to you soon, folks.